Hey guys, MC Mura here, and today we're gonna talk about is Street Fighter 6 a fighting game for everyone, and really what it takes for someone to be good in Street Fighter 6. And I've been thinking about this a lot because recently I saw a tweet, and this tweet was by Kane Blue River, and the tweet said, "I'm honestly a bit tight that in just a stream, Broski casually got with Honda as far as I had gotten in years of playing him. Is he just way better for Street Fighter 6 than me? Am I just not made for this? Or is Europe that surprisingly weak to Honda?" And obviously this is referencing as the latest video where Broski was using a Honda, his vacation arc. And as I said, I honestly tried to do better in the game, got my 1000 hours or so. I know the tech knowledge, strengths, safe jump setups, etc. But I seem to just be unable to grasp or able to properly play Street Fighter 6. Now, as you would expect, this tweet got a lot of attention, right? It got 162k, and a lot of replies were like, "Get good." And I feel like I need to give you a background check on who is Kane Blue River. Kane Blue River is a former EVO champion. He was an EVO champion for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 2015. And this is a guy that broke Marvel vs. Capcom. Typically in that game, you would see Zero, you would see Virgil, Team Coates. There's very established top tiers in that game. But Kane Blue River managed to win EVO with Hulk, Sentinel, and Hagar. This is a very unconventional team for the Marvel standards, and he really played the game in his own way, and he managed to make it work. And this is a guy from Chile, so he's from a very niche region, especially when it comes to Marvel. And he's saying that, well, Broski got much further in Street Fighter 6 than I was able to, and he said that he did put some effort in Street Fighter, like 1000 hours, that is nothing. And later he said like it's about like 1300 hours or so. And obviously Broski is one of the best Street Fighter 6 players. But that statement, I found it to be interesting, and I really kept thinking about it a lot. Like, what is it about Street Fighter 6 that make it so that some people are just not able to play the game the way they want and have success with it? And that is nothing really new, because we had games like, say, Street Fighter 5, right? Because I feel like most of my audience already played like Street Fighter 5. And during Street Fighter 5, we had players like Infiltration, especially when the game first came out, and he was using Nash. And he was using Nash in a very unconventional way. He used Nash in a way that even the Street Fighter 5 devs didn't even think about Nash like being played that way, and he found massive success. And later on, during Street Fighter 5 as well, we saw Daigo doing tremendous with Guile. Street Fighter 5 was probably the game with the most anti-fireball tools that I've ever seen. It was very hard to play a fireball game in Street Fighter 5. Yet Daigo was able to break ceilings. He was able to go through and do amazing work, play Guile, play Daigo's game, and do massively and win and be one of the best players of Street Fighter 5. So for a game like Street Fighter 5, players like Daigo was able to bend the game to their own will. It's like, alright, I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna win my way. And the same happened with Infiltration, and the same happened with Kane Blue River in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But here's the thing, when it comes to Street Fighter 6, it seems like players are not able to do great unless they play Street Fighter 6.exe. Because we got Ken here, right? You're gonna crouching medium kick, drive, rush, jab, and then go for the grab. You are gonna get the hit, and then like you're gonna do a combo, and then you're gonna carry them to the corner, and then you're gonna throw loops them. You're gonna play Chun-Li, you're gonna stall, throw fireball, drive rush, and then get them to the corner. And once you're in the corner, you're gonna go for some corner pressure, strike throw mix. And generally the Street Fighter 6.exe is so freaking strong that it's a ceiling. If you are good at Street Fighter 6.exe, you're gonna be good with this game. Like you're gonna be good with everyone, and you really see it a lot. Like you see a character, you see Ingrid coming out, and on that day of Ingrid coming out, you see Punk already winning tournaments with Ingrid, and obviously Punk is tremendous, Punk is amazing, but he's also playing with really great players. But because Punk is so strong at Street Fighter and Street Fighter 6, and actually one of the reasons that I believe Punk is not doing as good as the Street Fighter 5 Punk is that Street Fighter 6 doesn't cater to the Punk style as well, and I'm gonna get into it a little bit. But yeah, like great players who are really good. Like if you got 2 KMR in this game, you can get 1800 easy, 1900 easy with any of the other characters, because that is just the game. Like in this game, it's the most important is to play the system, right? Know when to spend, know when to use your resources. And I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, I like to think of player abilities as an RPG character creation chart, and you have all of the different attributes, like your offense and your mix, your reactions, your spacing, your defense, risk reward assessment, meter management, fireball game, hit confirm, execution. There are so many different individual skills that you have to build as a fighting game player, right? I think the thing with Street Fighter 6 right now is that not all of these skills are really rewarded, or are rewarded enough. Like I think in Street Fighter 6, if your reactions are at, say that you are a 10 at mix, you are a 10 at spacing, you are a 10 at defense, you are a 10 at risk reward management, you are 10, or let's say management says that you are a 7, says that you have amazing fireball game 8, really good hit confirms, and you have solid execution. If you got all of that, but your reactions are like a 4, you will not find any success in Street Fighter 6. Genuinely, you will not. And if it is the other way around, where you are 4, but here you're a 10, you got okay spacing, so you're at a 6, you got okay defense, so say that your defense is gonna be an 8, risk reward, let's make that a 3, meter management, let's keep it as an 8, fireball game 2, hit confirms 3, execution 2, this player will do better than the other guy, despite maybe this one having an overall of like a 70 or so. He will do better, because in a game like Street Fighter 6, say that you're fighting against Chun-Li, right, and she's doing Hazanshu. If you're someone who can perfect parry that every time, you are gonna do so good in this game. And it's not just Chun-Li, it's like characters like Sagat and his low step kick, Bison heavy punch, Ryu solar plexus. If you're someone who got really good reaction and are really good at perfect parrying, you're gonna do great in this game. This is a much more valuable of a skill to have in Street Fighter 6 than being able to hit confirm. Sure, if I got the ability to hit confirm this, that would be great. But most of the time, moves like that got huge cancel windows, so the ability itself is a lot easier. And I mean, you can just do that, right? There is obviously always the safety of the drive rush for continuing the hits, right? And on block, you still get the mix, so it's not a big deal. It's not very, very committal. Many of the characters have special moves that are completely safe and are gonna be frame traps, etc. So an ability like hit confirming, it is cool to have, but if your hit confirms are trash, that doesn't really matter that much in Street Fighter 6. Reactions, this have like weight of 3. This is like weight of 3x, right? This matters 3 more times than having good hit confirms. And the same for execution, right? Like there are so many characters, and like one of the poster boys who are like Ryu, who was very, very strong, and there's almost like 0 execution. Like I think anyone can just do a combo like that, and that is like 6k plus damage, and anyone can do it. right? In the prior games, gaining access to that huge damage was gated behind some execution barriers, but there are many cases in Street Fighter 6 where, yes, you will have the Eds, you maybe will have the Vipers who will have like slight, who will give you like huge benefits for having execution, but in general, as a skill, it doesn't matter. Like, it really does not matter that much. On the other hand, a skill like meter management, that is king, and that is a skill that is not, that was never had like resource management in general was never the most important skill in a fighting game. It was always like, okay, I have meter for the next round, maybe I got super, that's an advantage. But Street Fighter 6, the drive gauge, that is your health gauge. That is what someone like Broski is so good at. He's so good at resource management that he's able to play the game in a way that he knows when to use his options, he knows when to deny the opponent his options, he knows how to abuse burnout pressure, he knows how to defend when in burnout, etc, etc, etc. So resource management and playing on a timer, knowing when to push, when not, that's a huge part of this game. That is something that was not that big of a deal in the prior games. In the prior games, characters didn't have their unique gimmicks. Like Ryu never had dungeon and had to manage his resources, and that applies to many other characters. Like a character having a drink mechanic like Jamie, that was never really there. Characters with meta levels like Manon, we had someone like G, but he was like one character. But here we have resources. Cammy not really. Honda kind of does. Blanca have resources. So many characters have states or resources, or they have their chores that they have to play, and they have to manage some sort of resource plus managing the drive system. So that ability, the ability to manage your drive gauge, that also have like a weight of 3. Right? That also have a weight of 3. That's also like much more rewarded. And I will say it is the same for risk reward and spacing. Risk reward is, say that Chun-Li is now at 40%. Like she have 40%. And we'll say that Ryu only have 2 bars of super. So in the prior games, if Chun-Li only had 40%, or say that I'm gonna put the Ryu at like 10%, so that we have a situation. In the prior games, Chun-Li could play with that life lead and she could take some risks or be aware what Ryu needs to do. If this was Street Fighter 4, if this was Street Fighter 5, Chun-Li would know that Ryu needs the jump. Like Ryu needs a big hit to be able to do that, to get the KO, right? He needs to get the jump in, he needs to get the big hit, because that is what's gonna open up Ryu being able to win. But in a game like Street Fighter 6, because of the existence of something like the drive system, now a crouching medium kick could lead to your demise, right? That wasn't the case in the prior games. In the prior games, knowing which hit you could take and what is the win condition from the opponent was valuable. This is something that I was personally, like I believe the reason that I was really good in Street Fighter 5 was that I really understood win conditions. Alright, this guy needs a dash into button, this guy needs a jump, and I'm able to play around their needs. I'm gonna bait him into thinking that he could jump, and then he tries to, and bam, I get my anti-air, right? So that was something that me personally was like I was really good at that, but it's not a skill that is being rewarded that much in Street Fighter 6 because the nature of Drive Rush made it so that any hit is now like much more dangerous, right? And typically, like any hit, even if you got hit by light, this could lead you to getting cornered, and now you're in the throw loop, and now you have to guess for your life. So that didn't become as important as it used to. But on the other hand, so risk reward now doesn't matter that much, but on the other hand, spacing now have the weight of +3. And what I mean by spacing is, well, do you get whiff punished? If you're someone who got really good whiff punishes, if you're someone whose spacing is on point, who's really good, you will deny your opponent these openings. And that's why you see someone like Mina RD or Punk doing well, right? Because his spacing is so good, he's not giving the opponent many chances. He's not letting them crouching medium kick drive rush at them because he's not being present in that range, and he knows how to bait that from the opponent. So what I'm trying to say is that players who are jumping into Street Fighter 6 knowing that these are the skills that they need to be good at, they are doing so much better. That's why you're seeing all of the young blood, all of the young players are doing great in Street Fighter 6. They don't have the preconceived notion of, I gotta have a sick fireball game, I gotta have sick mix, I gotta have sick... They're not really thinking about it. They know that, alright, the opponent is jumping in on me, the opponent is jumping in on me. An older guy like me would be like, I got a DP, I got a DP. DP is important. But a younger guy who's starting with this game will be like, ha ha ha, I got the perfect parry. That is even better, right? A younger guy would use that because that is more damage to the drive gauge. That in generally is much more rewarding. The game flips a lot of your prior knowledge of fighting games and Street Fighter on its own head. And that's why if you're able to adapt, if you're able to accept these ideas, you're gonna do good. If not, if you are someone who don't wanna play Street Fighter 6.exe, if you wanna play outside of the box, more often than not, you're not gonna find success because the tools that the game gives you, like perfect parries for example, parry is stronger than any defensive option in the game. Its parry is stronger than anything. So it's like if you got that down, you're gonna do amazing. If you don't want to use it, and no, I don't want to parry, I want to block, I want to DB, I want to uppercut everything, you're just not gonna do as well. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the whole thing? What are your thoughts on Street Fighter 6 and the game in general? Does it reward players the way you think it should? I would love to hear your thoughts all about it in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.